Good. Quite some participants here, I can already see. So I think let's not lose any more time and just get it started. So first of all, thank you from my side for participating in this webinar. Actually, I'm really excited to be part of this webinar today. As you know, the MOBOTIX Partner Society is growing on a constant basis. That's really a kind of success story in the meantime. But today I'm even more pleased to introduce Irisity, which is the latest member of our partner society. And why am I so happy? Because Irisity is already a long-term partner from MOBOTIX. And as you have seen in the introduction, we are already successful in many projects, primarily in Sweden. And now I think it's a good time to get it running and also bring this success story into the world. That's why I'm again really happy that we have so many participants from all around the world and can bring this word into other regions outside Sweden as well. We do have online, you can see them, Christian and Anders. Actually, they are even sitting together right now. Kind of special, I would say, in those days. Of course, they are keeping the distance, but yeah, they are actually together in a studio in Gothenburg, and I will hand over to them in a minute. But to start off, of course, if you do have any kind of questions, feel free to put them into the chat box. We will take them right away or in the end in the Q&A. And with this, also maybe a little hint to the agenda. We will have kind of open discussion in the beginning, and in the end, we will also show quite some footage about this solution. So I think for everyone that actually participated, we do have some interesting news, images, and words in this webinar. But I think, and as I see, we do have partners from all around the world online. So let me just maybe start with one video to show you where Irisity is a little bit coming from and what we can do together, bringing those two technologies together. Okay, I think that was already quite promising. And with this, I would actually like to hand over into the studio and would like to welcome, first of all, Anders, our BDM based in Sweden, and also Christian, the head of sales for Irisity, who will take over from here. So let me just give the ball to Gothenburg and Christian. If you can maybe start, you have 60 seconds and can tell us, can tell all our partners globally, what is Irisity?
Well, you know me, and 60 seconds will be tough, but what I can say is that Irisity is a software company, and we do software as a service where we're targeting cameras and camera surveillance techniques to make them become smarter, and we can do a diverse kind of strategy depending on the client needs. So we could help in schools, harbors, rails, and so on. So you could say that we help to make the camera start thinking, so to speak.
Yeah, that sounds good. And as we already also mentioned in the intro, we do have a real success story with you guys, and that's why we really want to focus on the success that we have in schools, meaning the educational vertical. And with this, let me hand over to Anders, who is from our side also involved in those projects, and together with Christian, he can now maybe explain a little bit why we are so successful in schools in Sweden.
Okay, good morning. Good morning. Good to be here in Gothenburg. We have some questions, Christian. Of course, we are in Gothenburg. So how come Gothenburg started monitoring school environments?
Gothenburg had a huge problem. The cost within their schools was tremendous, actually. And they also had some unsafe neighborhoods, I would say. So they started to work with the alarms and the lock system, and then they wanted to take on the schoolyards to make them safer, to get the children back out again, to be able to start playing and play football and do things around the schools that they are supposed to do, and not being scared from gangs or other things. So that's why it started.
Which problems did they face? I mean, more specifically.
Well, we have areas of exclusion. We have some areas where rich kids want to be cool in front of their friends and they break windows. They are doing like the unwanted graffitis on the walls, and then a lot of unwanted loitering by huge gangs coming to the schools. When they looked at the wallet, so to speak, the city, they needed to invest in something to get rid of the problem.
So why did they choose Irisity? How did it sprung out?
Well, they actually started, like most companies, I would say, they started by using Google to see what kind of camera surveillance is out there. But the laws are also quite a lot about you can't show the clear image without getting a permit. And so we needed to create an anonymization filter in an optic camera, because that was what the client wanted. Because with the optic cameras, we could cover much more areas. And we needed to make that intelligent to get rid of those problems that they actually needed. So Irisity has a very quick, extremely good software team who came up with this very quickly and made it to become exactly what the client needed. And there it's continued.
Dating back, I think we talked about the first camera. Why did Irisity choose MOBOTIX for this segment? I think, is it nine years something back?
Yeah,
2012. Right?
Yes. Well, we knew that our software would work, and we know that we would be able to work in difficult light conditions. I could tell you all that Sweden is a quite dark country. And we also have not the nicest of weathers most of the time, so we needed to fix that. Plus, with those tough neighborhoods, we know that the cameras were going to be attacked in loads of ways. So we tested the MOBOTIX cameras out in the field, and they stood their ground in all these different angles. So Gothenburg were extremely pleased with them. So then we kind of continued to use them.
back to your term, what makes the school guard different from regular CCTV surveillance that's been around for quite some time?
I would say the intelligence is that we kind of angle our system to before something really has escalated. I mean, I've been involved, for instance, where I come to clients where they have broken 100 windows or something like that, and they have a cost of millions coming up. And what we do is our system thinks within the first 10 seconds of we see behavior that are going towards a negative spiral. And then we send that clip to an alarm central that controls and sees that, okay, Irisity have really detected early. We need to make some sort of act, and we need to do it now before it has escalated. So we could send out a guard when something happens, or some other measurements.
Do you think this is something unique to Swedish education vertical, or could this be interesting for other cities in other parts of the world?
I asked the head of security in Gothenburg, and he said this vertical is what has been created now over time by our software team, by listening to the client's needs and been working with you guys over time to see how the hardware technology has evolved. It has become a trilogy of making a product become better and better and better and adapting to what the exact need is just now. So I would say any city in the world could use the system, but it needs to be aimed towards what are the problems, what are the needs, just there.
It also kind of raises the pragmatic approach that I find from Irisity, that really focusing on a real situation and with the tech help and the cameras and everything to solve that. So what are the processes? What are you, I mean, you get an order from the school, but the school contacted you and some input companies on this. What is the process? How do you do that?
Our process is basically the client gets the head of security, in this case Gothenburg, gets contacted by the faculty or the school, and they say, we have this problem. He contacts us, we come out and we make the correctory there, together with the faculty, with the head of security, trying to target the exact problems that they have on this particular school. We set up alarm zones from the need. We could do different measurements in different zones. And then I make him a proposal. I contact you guys. We need these kind of cameras. They have these kind of problems. How can we together solve this? And then you come up with what kind of hardware it's going to be. And then I'm sending the proposal to the client. The client accepts the proposal, hopefully then. And then our installation companies comes out, puts everything up to place. We get our customer service to get it into our web portal and get it up and running. And then we need to tweak it for a while because we get kind of two levels happening. The first is that because cameras are coming up, the problem stops. And then after a while, they are trying to see and test the system. And then we need to be on our toes to get the problems that are going to be the ones that will come for the future, that we stop them. So we are stopping it in a two line of defense, so to speak.
Now we've been focused on the outside, but there's also a smart way protecting the indoors in the schools. Obviously, that can be issues as well.
I would say to get the school guard up and running, it's also a gateway to get the indoor environments. We have a really smart CCTV projectory. And a bit comes perhaps from me being employed by Gothenburg for 14 years before, working indoors in the schools as a host to stop gang recruitment, stop the drug selling within the schools, and so on. So we kind of understood the trajectory from that part to be working indoors. But then we have also taken our software team within this, which means that we could, for the future, also make the systems become intelligent and stop so many unwanted behaviors that we don't want to have.
Good to hear. Last but not least, how has the collaboration between the two companies, Irisity and MOBOTIX, evolved over the years?
I think brilliantly. I love this to have. First, I can go to the fantastic people at Irisity who are so technically skilled, and they are so quick at developing. I'm listening to the client has a need. I go to our software team. 1 month later, they have something out in the market. It's just amazing. And then I go to you guys and I say like, oh, I have the horrible of surroundings here. You guys come, oh, this camera we're going to use. And then together it's magic. So I think it's absolutely brilliant, if you ask me.
Thank you. I'm humbled. Let's go back to line mail. Sam.
Yeah, thanks for those insights. Really great to hear. And then I think Christian is really passionate and with all the knowledge about the schools. Maybe one thing I would like to turn out, because I heard from some people also online, we had like half a minute, some audio problems. Christian, if you could maybe get back one more time on the part of the return on investment. What was actually the outcome for the schools? Because I think just in that paragraph, which I think is one of the most important points, it was not so clear. So maybe you can just take that one out real quick.
Of course. The first school that we started out in Gothenburg, they had a cost of vandalization, and so for the first 50,000 euros a year. And when we came up with our camera system, it went down to 20,000 euros the second year, the 10,000 euros the year after that, 5,000 euros the year after that, and then it was gone. And now we have 6 years in a row where they haven't had any vandalization. So the return of investment for them took 2.5 years to buy our system, basically. And if they have done, so they were extremely happy. And I would say that that's approximately somewhere around every school project, if they have that kind of vandalization cost. 2.5 years. If it's a little bit less, perhaps 3 to 3.5 years, then they save money by using this technology.
Good to hear. Any other question that was missed out due to the audio?
That's impressive, and I think, but that was the most important part that was a little bit missed. I think we kind of covered it. So yeah, thanks to you, both of you. I think that was quite impressive to hear some insights, but we know that our customers are also always even more interested in actually seeing some footage around those kind of solutions. So in this slide here, we summarized again the two major factors. We want to create a better safety for the children in those schools. On the other side, like Christian just said, want to reduce the damage costs that are, I think, globally coming up in those kind of solutions. So let's just jump one slide ahead and see how is Irisity approaching this. And there I would like to actually maybe get back to Christian one more time. And Christian, this image here, maybe some customers might think now it's a thermal image, but that's actually not the case. We just wanted to show the different zonings that Irisity can do. Maybe one word from you around that, zoning. I think it describes really well the flexibility that Irisity has in its software solution.
Yeah, and when we talk about the zones, one thing we perhaps didn't talk about so much was the anonymization that we use. And anonymization is regulated by the law, that we need to use the anonymization to become to be able to use the whole image from the camera, so to speak. I mean, you guys cover, I think it's 3,000 square meters within one 90-degree camera, and the analysis works as well in 1 meter as it does in 70 meters away. And that means we have a lot of area which have actually completely different needs. Next to the walls, we might want to look at the vandalization and the unwanted graffiti on the walls and so on. But we might want to look at our perhaps violent behaviors, or we might want to detect fire further away in different other zones. So the customer, together with our fantastic customer success team and our delivery guys, they set this up, and so that the client can be very exact of what need this particular school has. For instance, you can have one zone up on the roof where we should send a guard straight away if there's somebody up on the roof. If it's becoming loitering with perhaps 10 to 15 people, we should also perhaps send out a guard, because now it's becoming like 2 o'clock during the night. What is 15 to 30 people doing outside of the school? So yeah, we could use the alarm zones to become very exact of the need.
Yeah, sounds again really promising. And let me just show this one also in one next slide. So here we are actually taking out one of those zones, and like Christian said, the vandalism and the graffiti, for example, is in most of the times starting with people standing around, and with an intelligent system such as Irisity, this can this can easily be avoided, but of course it's not like no one is allowed to stand maybe during day here in front of the playground of the football field. And that is actually the beauty with the Irisity system, in my opinion, because we can make so many different zones. The next one is actually, like Christian said, that one is, no one is of course allowed to go to the roofs, but we all know this kind of problem. I think that's not only the case in Sweden, definitely not, that no one should be allowed to go to the roof. But as I promised, we should not only look into marketing videos here. So let me actually show you a video from a Q26 that was taken in a real footage, and it also shows, let's say, the area that we can cover with just one camera and the Irisity intelligence drawing those kind of zones. And if we start here on top right, I think with the human eyes, I think we have almost none of our partners that are joining the webinar today were able to see this activity, while the Irisity intelligence was even able to see and make an alarm based on a movement in that zone. So pretty impressive in my opinion. That's just one part. Christian said this. One of the major factors, and that is really, in my opinion, the beauty on Irisity. That's something that we have not seen in any kind of environment so far, together with our technology, to be this kind of advanced, is the real-time anonymization. So this is, I think a really cool feature, and it can open up doors in so many areas, not only the school environment, where it's actually not allowed to identify identify people. But let me also on this one show you a real footage that is showing the capacities and is showing you how it actually works on real-time images. So I think it gets pretty clear in that video that everything which is related to person, to people, is not visible, while we still have a clear full color image and can run all the really intelligent functions such as loitering, violent behavior, all kind of algorithms with the Irisity, and in the same time having the image anonymized. So really impressive in my opinion. And this, especially the anonymization, I think it's opening up so many doors for you, for our partners. I can see so many existing MOBOTIX partners from all around the globe online, and I know that you are working in so many different verticals. So it's just on you to make up ideas, I believe, and how to use the Irisity intelligence. Like Christian said, the flexibility and the speed in the development team of Irisity is really something that we can point out in this technology partnership. And based on the market requirements, I think we can make up really good projects combining those two technologies. Let me just also maybe show you one or two things that catch my eye in the beginning when working together with Irisity. It's actually the Iris Rail Defender. Really smart application. You can also here see the zone, so just as you saw it in the school. You can see it here on the rail, and of course that can save lives. No question about that. But again, all kind of public areas that where privacy needs to be respected can be really well covered with this kind of solution. Here is just another example. Imagine this being in front of a train station or wherever you can think about it. And then last but not least, I would also like to show you one more little video on the violent behavior to also prove that the anonymization in one part is working, but also combining with other really intelligent algorithms. So this one is the Iris violent behavior, and shows, I think, in a really good way how fast the system reacts. Again, this works on our cameras really flawlessly, can go into all kind of applications, and yeah, I think we can have quite some good applications with Irisity and MOBOTIX. So yeah, I think that was a good insight on this collaboration, on this new technology partnership. And now I would actually like to open the chat box. Feel free to put in all kind of questions, and we can answer them right away. Let me just look into that box and make up the stage again also for Christian and Anders, and then let me summarize. Okay, so we have partners. This is great for elderly homes and healthcare. Indeed, this is one application area where we would like to go into. And then the next question, maybe to you, Christian, regarding the roof. Is there any analytics which can distinguish a man from a bird or any kind of other activities that might not be relevant as an alarm?
Yeah, we are not alarming on animals unless you want us to alarm on animals, so to speak. So the client comes up with the exact need, what we are going to focus on. And I would say that's also part of the strength with Irisity. And that's why we have all these different segments, because we listen to the clients and they say, we need this. We go to the software team, takes 1 or 2 months, and then we have it, basically. So that's the beauty of Irisity. It goes very, very quickly. And so no, we don't detect on mooses or deers at the schools, so to speak.
Yeah. Sounds good. One more question. I would have a possibility in this rail segment. How can we start off this project? What would be the first steps that are needed? One customer is asking here.
Well, we are just going up live now with Stockholm Railway, the subway system. We just won that procurement for Sweden. So we are going up live there. I don't know, but it's quite soon. And I would just say that contact us, and then we have some person within our organization that will target towards that market. And then we start working together towards it. We could start tomorrow, if you will.
Yeah, sounds good. One more question around the schools, actually. Okay, partner is saying in many kind of tenders, there's a list of existing installations needed. Is this something you can provide? Maybe with a few cities in Sweden, because of course we are saying we have more than 100 schools. Is this something we can provide? Maybe a list of cities that are actually already using Irisity together with MOBOTIX?
Yeah, I think we are up in, I would say, 250 schools today. Stockholm, Gothenburg, Jönköping, Karlstad, Örebro, Svedala. I would say we are basically all around with the schools around Sweden.
Yeah, sounds good. So no worries there. Next question. Can the anonymization be removed on demand to identify the vandalizing persons?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question, isn't it? No, if you have not got a permit, then we can't transform it, and so which means we are almost never putting up that technology that we can transform it afterwards, because then you need a permit, and then you need to be waiting to get the permit. So no, we can't. And we actually have been tested. We got the murder once within our cameras in one of the schools. So the police sent their top technicians. Our top technicians tried to break up the material afterwards, but you couldn't. So no, that's the reason to use the anonymization, is so it won't be able to break up.
Yeah.
And that also means that it will, within Sweden then, we oblige both to GDPR and the Swedish camera surveillance law, which are the ones that we are subordinate to. So that's why we are going towards that. Plus, we are not looking to identify people unless we really need to, or that segment need to. We need to stop behaviors that are unwanted. That's what we try to go for.
I have a question.
Yeah.
We focus on SchoolGuard on this webinar, but we all know, as you said, and we displayed here, that there are many other truly interesting AI algorithms in your portfolio. So for the next webinar, Christian, please suggest what should be the next theme topic.
Well, I saw the image in front of the invitation of the webinar was like the long range, where our cameras can actually, I don't know how many meters. It's probably you guys who can decide how many meters, because our analytics works in really long range.
Yeah.
So I would say the long range could probably be a good webinar.
We typically count that in pixels, so let's make a long range webinar next time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sounds
right.
good. Maybe one last question that I can answer. Andreas is asking, can this run inside 7 series? And that's actually quite a good, really good question. And yeah, we are happy to announce that as part of the technology partnership, also the app development is already in a really good progress. But we for sure wanted to distinguish here between the P7 app that is for now future. It's actually not such a long-term future. We cannot promise any dates here, but it's let's say visible. The developers are hardly on it from Irisity and from MOBOTIX side. But as we do have already the solution from Irisity running, either server or cloud-based, we did really want to make the distinction here and focus on what we have, because actually for you partners from all around the globe, you can use this technology already today, and that's why we wanted to focus on this one. But yes, to answer this question, also the 7 series will be part of our technology partnership, and that's something where we really look forward to.
That too.
Okay. I think that's about it from the question side. We are actually pretty good in time. Okay, one more question coming in, so we will take this one. Are there any samples available for low light scenarios? Christian, maybe you can comment on that one, because I think
I would say one of the videos was very low light, but please comment.
We kind of covered.
Well, our analytics has been working over time in the toughest of surroundings. So yeah, even in if we don't have good lighting, normally we use the IR lights or like that, so we could improve lighting in bad conditions. But the analytics works anyway.
Yeah. And that is something I can get back to this question also separately after the webinar, because we are actually right now also doing many tests with Sarunas, our engineer, who is actually using his backyard for those kind of tests. And I already saw last week some really great videos running on, I think, 0.5 lux, so almost complete darkness, and it was detected. So definitely, yeah, we will get back with samples, because we actually already have them and can prove that it's working also in low light.
Keep on producing those videos, Sarunas.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
All right.
Good.
All right. Anything else? Look forward to the next one, and thank you so much. Good to be here in Gothenburg. Feels fantastic.
Yeah, thanks to you guys. I think all partners do have our contact details. Feel free to reach out to us, to open doors, to bring the school guards into the world and make the schools a little bit safer, I would say. Thank you, Christian and Anders.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Cheers. See you next time.